Welcome to Rauta's Backlog Reviews. By backlog I mean going through the older releases which I've gotten here a long time ago, but to the more relevant, more recent review albums, these have been waiting for their turn, and Circle of Dawn debut album is one of those releases which I have here for review. I'll get into the details of this cover in a little bit later, but first of all let's just quickly unbox this Darker Than Black release, originally from 2017. Now it is also curious to see that this is a certain kind of super jewel case or something like that. I'm not exactly sure anymore what these were called back in the days, but you don't really see these kind of reinforced jewel cases these days anymore, even though they are kind of like better versions of jewel case. Maybe just too expensive to do, I don't know, and requires a little bit of a different layout, given that this cut here is done with the transparent corners here. Anyway, Circle of Dawn comes from the eastern part of Finland, an area or region called as Savo, to which this album title is referring to. And this is a band with a lot of controversy. It is one of those bands which is very much tied to National Socialist BM, that is NSBM, for various reasons. And it is clear that with this kind of a release, the band is definitely doing a little bit of provocation. First of all, let's take a look at this cover image here. This red blurred image is originally one of the most famous Finnish painters, Akseli Gallen-Kallela, created this original triptych to kind of celebrate Finnish things. If you take a look at this triptych, mid part you will see here is this character Väinämöinen, the guy with the white beard. He's like this kind of a shaman bard creature or sort of a sorcerer of powers, and he got this peculiar fish from the sea, which turns out to be this white lady. One could say kind of the Finnish essence in a woman. And this new cover by Circle of Dawn is kind of like photoshopped, or more like photobombed version of it, with having this salty licorice package creature on this cover. And it's clearly a point to make their certain kind of a racial statement, if you will. Now, take it if you will, but I think it kind of emphasizes the point the band is here trying to make. However, when you take a look at the Melodic website here, it doesn't really say anything about supremacy or anything like that, but I don't know. I'm just a mere messenger boy. I'm here to make any kind of claims. Anyway, as you can see, the band is now out, or soonish out, with a second album, Savonian Supremacy. So this Savo theme is very strong with this one. It's kind of like Circle of Dawn version of what Satanic Warmaster is doing about Karelia. Now, Karelia is the kind of southern eastern part of Finland, very close to Russian border, or actually making the parts of Russian border, and some part of Karelia is actually in the Russian side, where Savo is a little bit north from there and not as much east, I guess it could be said. Anyway, they both have this habit of making their local region known. Karelia is with Karelian madness and all that stuff, and Circle of Dawn is doing that with the Savonian thing here. Now, this album from 2017 is clearly still having the kind of problems and also good ideas what a debut album is all about. That is, while this album might have very strong visual language and it's clearly making its point and ideology true and all that stuff, musically it's way more, say, softer than you might expect. Certainly kind of a primitive at the same time, as it's very melodic, and musically at least very easy to approach. One could say there is a lot of similarities with Goat Moon, not only because of the lyrical topics and all that stuff, or the ideological ones, but because of both of these bands are very, very melodic. And Circle of Dawn is doing that kind of a mid-tempo way. So it's actually quite easy for a black metal band. I mean, it's far away from certain kind of a more extreme metal bands, which are there either to kill you by tempo or violent riffing and lots of aggression. But Circle of Dawn is actually quite, I don't know, peaceful in so many ways. Now, there is certain kind of Finnish melancholy present with some of the riffs, which are then again, in my opinion, the best parts of the album here. However, way too often it seems like the band doesn't even realize where it's supposed to go, like searching for its own path, so to speak. And that's where I think the band is kind of a failing, because at some points, while it's kind of a good and it has a lot of potential to be really good, I think it's kind of a loss every now and then, which makes it a little bit inclined towards mediocrity. Now, when it comes to the production of the album, I think it's quite weak considering that this is 2017 release. I mean, if this was 87 release, I wouldn't be so much complaining about the sound, but now the gears sound really, really weak and kind of pathetic. I mean, you can pretty much figure out how the music goes and all that stuff, so it's not like crap, but it's just weak and kind of like you need some muscle to, back it up. And when it comes to vocals, they're also at the same time quite inspiring and at the same time also a little bit like, what the hell is going on? They have this hooligan mentality like, let's go growling about. and where it fails exactly is that the vocalist is not that good. I mean, in some ways I kind of like it that it's not caring about any rules or sets or how it should be. But at the same time, the music guy in my head says like, don't go there. It's bad. So I'm kind of divided when I'm thinking about this music. I kind of like the potential here. I really like the melancholy within. But so many ways, this is like a very first recording in like lots of failures here and there. Not the big ones, but kind of like what bands usually have with their, first few demos. And given that the band doesn't really have much of a demo pass here prior to making this full-length album, I guess it leads to the very fact that all these demo material mistakes, if you will, are here present on this album. Definitely for people who are into Goatmoon and such, I mean, if you take a look at this similar artist tab, you will find that this is very much compared to household names such as Pest Noir, Absurd, Goatmoon, White Death, and especially in my opinion there is a lot of similarities with White Death and Goatmoon. So in case you just happen to be a fan of those bands, this is a band that you might want to take a look at. Then again, if you're already allergic both melodic black metal and these topics related to NSBM, I would say stay away from it. It's not your cup of tea. Now with these pointers, to give you a little bit of an idea what is going on, go check it out. For the time being, with quick Googling, there was no full link to the music, so you might have to do some digging by yourself. I'm sure in the sewers of internet there will be samples of this music, so do your homework and find it if you're interested. So far the only website for the band was the VKontakti page, so clickety-click, go check out the information, and what can I say? I hope you like it. Take care, bye-bye.